is to create something that will.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another live stream. Hope everyone's doing well. Little new intro music. Let's see if they kick me. they silence me for that. Hopefully it's short enough I don't get in trouble. Please don't get me in trouble, YouTube. Anyways, hope everyone's doing well today. Today is April 23rd, 2019, and I got my buddy Ryan with me again. We had so much fun last time. He wanted to join in, and if any of you guys are interested in having a call or discussing things, please hit me up. You can hit me up on email me or message me on any one of my social media platforms. So yeah. What do you think about this music? Should I kill it in the background? What do you think, Ryan?
I can't hear it.
All right, cool.
I can hear you.
That's all that matters.
No, yeah, and you've got a little time delay. It's funny. I'm looking at the cast on the phone.
Yeah.
It's about 30 seconds, which isn't that bad.
Let's see. Cool. Well, let's get into it.
So what's going on with the crypto market?
Oh yeah, let's look at that. You can actually see it on the website. Isn't that convenient? There's a little ticker on the bottom. Yay.
Crypto. Yeah. Once again, I have no idea.
Yeah. It's up. It's up. Just to let you know, it's been steadily going up the past. Almost 2 weeks now.
Yeah, I remember some friends of ours back in the day that had some of those bitcoins.
Yeah, they still do. They still dabble.
Wow.
Yep.
Dabbling in the cryptocurrency.
Honestly, I think it's a very powerful technology that can help us out as far as get away from.
I like looking at it, in comparison when stuff happens with the Dow, the stock market and stuff. And I like seeing how it reacts.
Well, it's the same principle as like Forex, foreign exchange. It's a currency, yeah. So currencies are put up against other currencies in a sense. But in order to enter the crypto market, you kind of have to have Bitcoin, really.
Well, I had this stereotype. I can say from my point of view, it's like when I first heard about it, it was kind of had a criminal element maybe to it.
Yeah.
Am I saying that right?
It definitely did.
It kind of had, it had originally years back. When I first heard of it, I was like, wow, that's that's an interesting way to get around.
Yeah, the dark web.
Taxes. Yeah. Taxes, just for the first one.
Yeah, now it's a lot harder. But as you can see,
sure.
As you can see, or maybe you can't see this, but
I can see it.
Yeah, Bitcoin's up, Ethereum's kind of wobbling. Overall, the whole market's up compared to
and people can just create these things.
Well, yes and no.
There's a bunch of, like I said, there's no real cryptocurrency for dummies. They totally have a book.
Oh, they got a book. They have a book. I guarantee they have. I'm gonna look it up. I bet you money they do though.
Crypto money. It's all crypto, guys. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all.
So Bitcoin is actually backed by computational power. So it's not.
We'll go down a crazy hole if we start talking about money right now and just.
Yeah, well, see, that's kind of. But so to delve in though, that's the problem it's supposed to fix, right? Is fiat system. The currency we use now is a fiat system, which is nothing. It's all scarcity based, and it's fractional reserve banking is which pretty much all Western civilization uses, and so everything's backed by what a country can make during the year, and so it's just GDP, gross domestic product. And so if a country can sell this amount of product in 1 year, then the banks will loan to them according to what they can sell. So it's fake, you know, fiat is not backed by anything.
Yeah, I mean, like, isn't $1 trillion a billion?
I mean,
Yeah, so, like,
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so numbers, people just, you know, people throw out this $1 trillion thing, you know, like $1 trillion in debt, trillions of dollars here. I don't think people really can comprehend that number. A trillion. I mean, a billion's a lot, because I think a billion, what is a million? A billion's a billion, or a trillion's a billion. So
This is
I can
the debt clock. I don't know if you've ever looked at this.
Yes, I have looked, and that number right there is unfathomable. I have a period. I didn't even say it right. Unfathomable.
22 was that 22 trillion, right? It's
Trillion, yes. Would be, yeah, that's insane.
And look at what I find hilarious is if you look at
there's not enough gold on the planet, natural reason. I don't understand. You know, that just doesn't even make sense to me.
Well, and this is the funniest thing is look at like the green on here. The only green on here is the U.S. federal tax revenue.
Oh, good Lord.
It's funny.
That's
this is the U.S. The world. Look at the world debt clock. It's even crazier. Like, I think world.
It's artificial. It's just it's so ridiculous. It's like I said.
Hey, it's a big. I think it's one of the biggest problems that we face. See, look, here's U.S., here's China, Japan. I mean, tell me out of all that, right? Who's in the green? I think Argentina. Where's Argentina? They were in the green last time I looked. Someone has their crap together, but none of these guys. Anyways, it's a pretty big problem that needs to be addressed, I think, you know.
Yeah.
Because who are we in debt to ultimately, right? I mean, we're in debt to ourselves. Like, it's kind of a silly system.
These numbers are all inflated in a sense too, because they haven't changed. You know, I mean, you remember old timers talking about, I went to the movies back in the day with a nickel, and I bought a sandwich with a penny. You know, just stuff like that's real. So we've just blew it up to where these giant numbers, you know, and the inflation compared to, you know, the common wage of a person, and we're getting into all kinds of crazy
well,
stuff.
It's not even inflation though. It's
just
debt.
Well,
it's debt to the banking system. Like, it's like a credit card. Everyone's on credit, basically. Everyone's on credit.
It's the Federal Reserve that's not even controlled by anybody. It's a floating organism controlled by bankers. I don't know.
It's strange.
Interesting.
It's strange.
It kind of all happened right after the Great Depression, when all this. When the Feds
started?
Feds got the power off of that one, and, you know, from then on.
Actually, no, it really started around World War I, I think is when it first started. And then, because the last person to kind of try to defeat the banks was Andrew Jackson. And this is just in the U.S. I don't know about worldwide. Every country has its own story on it trying to fight off the same people that basically what United States, when we came over and stole the land from the Native Americans, like, you know, we were trying to escape that type of tyranny, you know, of taxation without representation. So,
well, speaking of Native Americans, can I switch topics?
Yeah, sure. Let's go into this.
I was listening to something earlier today, I think a podcast Joe Rogan did last night or yesterday evening. And he was talking to some guy, I don't know who it was, but he was saying that it was published in Nature, you know, the magazine.
Yeah.
Yes, you know, that they found existence of early humans here in, you know, North America 120,000 years ago. Just 10 times
longer than we thought.
Yeah. So once again, you know, changing of science and history and what was written, you know. I grew up
120, you said? 120?
Yeah.
130.
130? All right.
Yeah, 130, yeah.
Which is, like I just said, 10 times, almost 10 times the amount. And what it was he was kind of talking about how there's just this dogma in the archaeology community where they only would dig down so far, literally, not figuratively. That's even funnier. But would only go down so far in the dirt. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
just stop. And now,
You know,
it's crazy. Fringe
entrepreneurial
archaeologists.
terms is the same thing.
Yeah.
You got to keep going. You got to keep
Yeah.
going. And you could be just
Well,
inches
yeah,
away
it
from
was just
something new.
This crazy archaeology guy was like, man, I'm not stopping at 4 meters.
Yeah.
I'm going down another 6 meters and broke all the. It's so funny to me.
So
that
California
that's-
is where looks like they found it. Prehistoric humans.
One of the guys tried to disclaim and say, "Oh no, the reason why they think
Yeah.
humans were there, they found bones of a mastodon. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Like a big old an elephant, and then what it is, big hairy weird elephant. I have no clue. Anyway, but they found bones, and one of the legs was missing, and then the bones seemed to be like crushed by force, someone hitting it with tools or of some sort on objects,
Yeah.
which is a human type of thing that we do. And somebody tried to disprove it, say because there's a road crew that found it, that that the machinery crushed it. There's a big difference between a fossil being crushed and the patterns it makes, and an actual bone.
Right, you'll be able to see I guess what would be considered like a patina,
Yeah,
some
there's
type of biological patina.
Yeah, it's a fractal pattern. When fossils crush, you can see it. You know what I'm saying? So it was so they're dating it due to the fact of the age of the mastodon, and then the fact that obviously humans were harvesting
Good.
food.
What's up, Binge? Yeah, Binge said his name was Hancock Graham. Hancock Graham. That's the dude. Yeah, so let's see. It was prehistoric humans, perhaps Neanderthals or another lost species occupied what is now California some 130,000 years ago. A team of scientists reported on Wednesday. The bold and fiercely disputed claim, published in the Journal of Nature, is based on the study of mastodon bones discovered near San Diego. If the scientists are right, they would significantly alter our understanding of how humans spread around the planet. I won't go too deep into it, but yeah, it's
pretty cool.
Yeah. There's lots of stories told by Native Americans, about how they've lived there for, a long, long time. That of course there's no actual timelines or anything, but it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, how it's called prehistory for a reason, right? So it wouldn't surprise me.
Way back. I mean, that dates back way further than people in Europe. I mean, that beats Europe by 80,000 years or something. Some really big number. But yeah, it was a cool podcast, guys. Just, if you don't watch Rogan stuff, then you're missing out on a bunch of scientists.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Different
Got
topics.
they got the mushroom dude and the AI dude and the Brian Cox. That's the only guy.
Yeah,
So many different names.
Doesn't fungi? Yeah, but is it fungus just on everything? Isn't I know that the largest living organism is a mushroom, and out towards you, right? Out on the Pacific Northwest, right?
Yeah, I believe. Oh, the dogs are gonna go off. I believe so. Yeah, there's I don't know. I'll look that up too. I believe that there's a huge mega fungus that goes through
it's all underground.
Yeah,
it spreads out for miles.
Mega fungus.
The largest living thing. But then there's fungus on everything. All over us right now. I guess it's those YouTube commercials are getting me, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
There was something coming up.
Let's see. What was it? I can't remember the name. I think you're right. It's along the Paul Stamets. Yeah, that's the fungus dude.
It's pretty cool. I mean, I have a lot of buddies that ask me, this is a time of season for, certain type of mushrooms where I'm at, to harvest, and I've always just kind of shied away from picking mushrooms in the woods and eating them. I'm definitely not an expert on that at all.
Yeah, there's certainly an art to it. Organism on
there are
Earth.
certain ones, but
Yeah. I'm gonna totally slaughter this Latin name, but let's see. I just saw it. The largest terrestrial organism on the planet is a fungus called Armillaria solidipis. The honey fungus. Yeah, or the honey fungus. Armillaria solidipis. Solidips. I don't know. Who knows? Somebody out there knows better than I do. The largest honey fungus identified in North America is in Oregon. So you're right. Yeah, 3.4 miles. And that's considerably bigger than the giant sequoia in Africa. The giant sequoia or African elephants. Pardon me.
Or a whale, right? Isn't that
blue whale?
That's the biggest thing? A blue whale. Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I would say so. What did you say? 3.4 miles.
3 mile long whale, man. I hope they find that. Yeah, the stuff in the ocean. Who knows?
I wonder if it's in what particular forest it's in. If it says.
I think
there's a huge swath of forest, the Cascade Range. It goes all throughout the Pacific Northwest. So, 90s culprit was killing fir trees. Yeah, it doesn't say. I don't think.
Hey, grab another beer. Be back in a second.
All right. Yes, that's pretty interesting stuff. I do like mushrooms, to eat them, and not necessarily the hallucinogenic kind, but just in general, it's a very good source of protein. I think mushrooms have one of the highest sources of vitamin D. I think, which is kind of weird for a species that doesn't get very much light. But yeah, I think so. I won't go into that. It's interesting stuff. Let's set up a free energy device. I'm gonna have a free energy device section this time for sure. Computer's being a little slow. Got too much stuff running. Oh, new season of The Voice is coming, dude.
Yeah. Wow. I'm there.
Let's see.
The Big Bang Theory. I actually thought that show was funny, 10 years ago. I haven't watched it in a long time.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still running.
So,
oh look, Gibbs Free Energy is up high on there. That's good. That's good to see. We already went over this wrench one. Here's a wow Free Energy speakers.
The speaker one.
Let's do the speaker one. Google's throwing an ad at me. There we go.
These are just.
It's a good exercise and detective work basically.
Well, how many views does this have?
This one has 583,000 views. I look how many thumbs up it has too. You would think that there'd be more, at least balance between the two, or more thumbs down.
Well, first of all, that's a speaker.
Yeah.
Pretty much is just a round magnet, and then inside there's a little coil of about 42 gauge wire that's coiled vertically right there in the center around where that magnet is, and that's all that is. There's nothing, and then some metal attached to it. It's an alloy. Yeah, it's a round magnet. So I don't know.
Well, is it actually magnetized or diaxially or whatever?
When you mix yellow and teal together, what color do you get?
The Oregon Ducks. Oh, I mean, that's the secret sauce. You have to mix the
another ring
mix the
magnet
colors.
out of a microwave oven. So out of the magnetron.
Or it could be from the speaker too. Oh no, you're right. It looks like a magnetron magnet.
That was yeah, I believe so. And now he's gonna coil probably this inside around the magnet, which is, nope, gotta strip it.
He should take a lotion break.
Who, me?
No, him. He should take a lotion break. He looks like he's getting a little.
Some lotion.
I'm not one to talk. Yeah,
CBD
I'm not one to
lotions.
talk. You're
Blue Ridge hemp. Check it out. It's got CBDs in it.
Terrible.
You
just plugged. You just plugged.
Hey, if you're really trying to resist, understand force. Here we go. picked this up at where? SciTech Syndicate. Anyway, no, shameless plugs. They do it all the time. So he's literally spent this long soldering that one wire on there. All right, so.
Yeah, you got to solder it in a loop, otherwise it won't work. You have to.
So what's that say on the top? We've got
KL 4 ohm 1 watt.
Oh, okay. We got a
KL audio.
So that the little coil inside the speaker is 4 ohms. Which he tore everything off the plastic membrane, and it would vibrate back and forth to actually cause sound to come out of it. So I don't.
Letter bench.
I'm telling you,
we're trying to unlock the free energy. Okay, so he's wrapping around. He's got to wrap it around. Oh, come on, Google. Yeah, trying to unlock the free energy device.
Yeah.
Really trying to figure out what.
If you could do it with speakers, then. He's wrapping it around that way, which just like totally would.
Fast forward here. So now there's the other speaker with the green wire because you got to mix the colors. It doesn't work unless you mix colors.
No, it's got to be different color wires.
Yeah.
It just won't work at all.
Good
Lord.
Soldering this up. My goodness.
I know. That's how he's making money. I mean, think about it. He's got 500,000 views. It's almost 600 or something.
Yeah,
and
that's.
he's running all these ads. And nowadays, YouTube, these guys are putting ads at the end of their videos. So when you get done watching something, you don't even know, and the ad plays, and then they're getting loot off of that. So I don't know. Kind of
just froze up on me.
Well, I was enjoying it.
Hey, let me. We'll try this. We'll kill the music.
I think my 13-year-old just needs to make a channel on YouTube like that, and I just let him wire around all kinds of stuff.
Little passive income. Yeah, but YouTube doesn't pay. YouTube doesn't. Holy crap! He has ads as much as possible for sure. YouTube doesn't pay that much anymore. They don't pay that much for ads. You got to get like millions of views for them to start paying out decently. But anything's better than nothing.
Yeah, I mean, he'd get a new pair of. Oh my lord! I believe the coupling has something to do with the way this device works, like the coupling of that wire. Yeah, I mean, the way he's.
Okay, you have to lock it down like that.
Yeah, that actually does some Ed Lee Scallon stuff right there. So you're getting some perpetual motion holder action maybe with that knot. Now he just added a sailor's knot or something to it, which is really.
Are you sure that's a sailor's knot? Oh man, he's gonna strip a ton of copper. Never mind. That's an interesting approach.
I hope he gets a new pair of.
Save some wire for later.
He spends a lot of time with the prep work. I would think if I was making a video like this, I'd have everything all ready to go.
You gotta show people though, man. Then people would think it's fake.
Yeah, exactly. All right,
come on now. So this is.
Now he's hooking.
So if I'm not mistaken, those magnets on the speakers, I believe, are like they're diaxially magnetized or whatever you call it, where they're like the north and south are facing inwards, right? I'm pretty sure. I don't think it's north on the top and south on the bottom. I think it's.
Well, he's about to glue a magnet on top of another magnet. And to be honest, you don't really need glue. It looked like it stuck right on there just fine, but just to be safe, I guess. And now he's gonna stick this. Holy shit! Sorry. If he puts this shit together, like I made stuff like this when I was 12. I'm not playing.
Did it work?
No, it looked cool.
It's like a flying saucer. A green and yellow flying saucer.
It doesn't, yeah, but I'm telling you, he's gonna. So basically, he's probably just gonna shove a battery in the middle of that thing, when it clips over, and then hook something up to it. But
it sure has taken a while. It's a very creative way to approach a free energy device.
It does look like a spaceship. That is so funny. But I mean, the coupling of the teal wire is amazing. I love.
That's green, bro. That's not teal.
I don't know. Maybe my screen is off. Everyone sees colors differently.
That's true.
You know that, right?
It's true. That's very true.
And what's up with those like the glasses that let colorblind people see color?
I don't know.
Some new thing? 'Cause
Yeah,
I
it's
saw
pretty
a lot
niche.
of ads for that.
Yeah,
And people
it's pretty
freaking
cool.
out. And, is that the guy?
No,
that's
this is
an
a guy who's trying to sell me a e-commerce course because I run an e-commerce store.
He looks like he's 12.
He's a
14.
young Taiwanese gentleman.
Entrepreneurs.
Yeah, those entrepreneurs always trying to sell those other entrepreneurs. Holy cow! It is lagging
I wanna
hard.
See his final product, man.
So do I. I was trying to get to it, but we got to get through these ads. I'm gonna kill this vidIQ crap.
This is just gonna get worse. And
We kind of ended like
the ads. Man, sometimes I'll watch something and literally those little yellow marks on the bottom are like every minute and a half. All right, here you go.
but we missed something here. We missed a crucial element. It looks like.
Well, the crucial element is there's a battery inside that LED light bulb, because if you take that thing apart, it's all pretty much got a heat sink in the center, and you could take it out. And he's just got a battery in there, and if you touch the two together, because they're connected, the yellow and green, you're just turning it on.
And it's what,
Pretty,
7 watts, right? I think those LEDs are like 7 watts.
Yeah,
max.
You can run that with. That's
Orion.
and to be honest, that wasn't even fully lit. It almost looks like he just has a LED in there with maybe a 3.5 volts, 3.2 volts. See how dim it is?
And he's connecting the circuit with the
So it's just the same thing they always do. He's like, you can,
That's
you
the
can see how,
likely case, yeah.
Well, no, look at it right there, freeze it. Where he's
What?
connected the speaker wires, they're all connected together.
Yeah, no, he made sure all of them were connected together.
Yeah, because the core of that winding is connected and shorted together. That's why you get 4 ohms off of it. These are funny, but to get that many views, I mean, I've done some really crazy research and made some really neat things and got like 10 views. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's
The
you know.
YouTube fickleness. Yeah,
It's
wasn't
it's
for that,
SEO,
actually.
it's marketing stuff, and it's getting people's attention.
I've never made a video for money. It's so ridiculous. That was never the point. It was.
I have. Well, not just for money, but you know.
I've done it just to have something to go back on to look at.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I
I've
never
monetized anything, and I could never AdSync my accounts, and so I was just like, whatever.
I did that, and then YouTube switched to where you had to have over 1,000 subscribers, but I think I maybe got like $2 altogether, but I never made a video just for money on YouTube, but I've made videos for like Facebook and stuff, Instagram for trying to push people to a product, you know, or to put the right product in front of people.
On
but
Instagram, on Instagram, I made some.
Hello.
For
so that is this week's free energy device. Do you have any free energy devices that might be legitimate you can think about?
Or perpetual motion devices. I'll tell people too.
Same thing.
Link them to that, and they come up randomly on my, on the algorithm, but I don't know. They're good luck.
Yeah.
A lot of times guys take that to the next level where they have like a bunch of spinny thingies going, lights and big coils, and they run a couple light bulbs.
Yep. That's a cool one.
We're not going there because we could. I could definitely think of a few that we could delve into, but
Oh yeah.
What was up? Bringing pigs back to life. Dead pigs.
That's what you're talking about in China.
I saw something going on. Somebody.
In what way?
I don't know. They were like, I guess they were dead, and they brought them back to life for X amount of time. I saw a real quick little thing. I was like, that's
with
strange.
this electrical impulses, or?
I have no clue. That's what's weird. I just randomly.
Sort of. Yale scientists.
Yeah.
Their brain.
I mean, yeah, they brought it back, which is, I don't know. It's kind of awful picture right there. Good Lord, really? Little baby pig and
just tons of ads.
And pill ads. That ad started with a bunch of pills on the nightstand.
Dead
Good
pig's
Lord.
brain. That's another thing that cryptocurrency, some cryptocurrencies are trying to solve is there's one called the basic attention token. It's like users will get the token for like liking certain ads, and then you can just not see any ads basically, and like stuff like that. That's what they're aiming for. Interesting.
A dead pig's brain was brought back to life.
Yep.
Sort of.
Did they really bring a dead pig brain back to life? Well, sort of. So in the new research published Wednesday as of what? I don't know what. Today's Wednesday. Last Wednesday. It must have been last. This is old news. This is old news.
Oh,
man.
what? Man, no one's heard about this dead pig being brought back to life. Now, I thought it was a whole pig. Now it's just the brain.
Just the brain. Was it at Yale? Because this one was done at Yale University. Weren't you saying something about China? I thought it was a Chinese.
Well, every time I think about cloning, I think about China
That's
because they've
terrible.
done all kinds of crazy stuff over there. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not saying it's bad or good. I don't even know where to go with it. It's the same thing with the robots, man. You know, like the Boston Dynamic robots. That's some creepy stuff. And DARPA made a robot. This is another thing I heard. DARPA made a robot that consumes, flesh, like meat, whatever, and runs off of it. It's one of the Boston Dynamic robots that eats people. I don't know. You could probably find this link. Because they
let's just stick with this first. All right, this
because a bunch
is terrible.
of people sit in a room trying to figure out the most freaking weird, awful. Man, I'm telling you, that's what I'm saying is real. You can check it out.
We'll check it out here in a second. Let's just stick with the dead pig brain. Here's how it went down. Scientists obtained the brain of a dead pig from a meat packing plant, then infused it with a specially designed chemical solution. Shortly thereafter, many basic cellular functions, once thought to cease seconds or minutes after oxygen and blood flow ceased, were seen 4 hours later. However, researchers also stressed that the treated brain lacked any recognizable electrical signals associated with the normal brain function. So, I mean, it sounds like they just they turned the pig brain into a galvanic battery if some chemical reaction was going on in there.
Or in a sense, because that's what happens once blood flow stops, cells start breaking down. I mean,
Right.
rigor mortis happens in X amount of time. So it's like you've got a certain amount of time to work with something. Get a brain from a packing plant, and then and it sounds like it sounds like they're reversing cell decay, but does it say? I don't know. That's getting
it's a cellular They made it a cellular active brain. At no point did we observe the kind of organized electrical activity associated with perception, awareness, or consciousness, said study co-author Zvonimir Verselya. I've slaughtered that name, I'm sure. Research scientist in neuroscience at Yale. Clinically defined, this is not a living brain, but it is a cellular active brain. So, I mean, but what determines a cellular active brain? Like, you could pour some yeast in there, and wouldn't it be there's cells active?
Decay on a cellular level. No, cell decay. Like actual on a cellular level. I don't know. I mean,
cells are always
decaying. I think it's the first step to reverse the cell decay or to stabilize it, and then you would give it electrical whatever. But I'm not Frankenstein or Dr. Frankenstein. So I don't.
DARPA creates flesh-eating robot, huh? That's it sounds like a terrible idea. Okay, remember Eater, the military robot that was supposed to eat? So, I mean, as soon as you make that autonomous and it's designed to eat flesh,
awful, man.
Like, it's pretty dumb. I think it's a pretty bad idea.
On flesh, yeah. I mean, come on.
We completely understand public concern about futuristic robots feeding on human population, but that is not our mission. Cyclone CEO Harry Scholl said in a press release in 2009. That's some old news here. What could make the CEO of alternative energy company issue such a? How is he an alternative energy company when it's talking? I guess because it's flesh. You're running energy off of flesh.
Man.
Yeah, it's my bad. My bad. My bad. I take back what I just said.
Dracula robots. You know what I mean? Vampire robots. don't make me start talking about Alex Jones.
They're
but this
using
is the
caloric.
weird-
They're using caloric. Why did you even bring his
God.
name up? Don't even bring his name up.
Because
So,
this is probably something he talked about in 2009. People were like, "You're crazy."
what could make
You're
the
crazy.
CEO of an alternative energy company issue such an insane statement? Well, Cyclone had a. They're called Cyclone, isn't that? That sounds like it's like some evil mad scientist group, like
Yeah.
Hydra and a Cyclone. Like that's
Yeah.
that's terrible. Well, Cyclone had a contract with DARPA for a little guy named Eater. Yeah, the energetically autonomous tactical robot. And
What?
I mean, this doesn't even seem real. Like we gotta fact check this.
man.
Okay,
Listen,
little
those
guy named
robots
Eater.
are doing it parkour. I'm sure they have a mouth on it to consume a body. Good lord.
You know how I know that this is probably bogus is because this sentence starts with and you don't start a sentence with and.
Oh,
Yeah, and once news began to circulate about Eater, the public became concerned that this robot was powered by feasting on the flesh of dead people. Back in 2009, Cyclone Power Technologies was working with See, when you call them Cyclone Power Technologies, it sounds a little better. When it's just Cyclone, like I think there's
yeah, but
isn't there?
That's
Correct me
like
if
a
I'm wrong, but
freaking-
wasn't it like
freaking-
Cyclone 9 was like a that was like a neurotoxin, right?
But it's still but it's still like where they make washing machines.
Yeah.
I mean, or they're making they're making
Okay, so it's
crazy
equipped with
eating
a
robots.
this incredibly intricate diagram shows it's it's equipped with a gripper, a chainsaw, a sick
Oh.
ladder,
Good lord.
stereo cameras,
Is that a pot in
RSTA
the
cameras,
back
has
to
a
put
turret,
everything in?
mule chassis, bin for
Yeah.
combustibles.
That's
Yeah. Reporters asked questions below were written. Eater became in the eyes of the public. The robot was going to swallow humans whole. Right. Okay. So it's basically just devouring the dead people because, you know, who wants to see their
Yeah.
loved ones come back from a military event, right?
mhm.
Yeah. So okay. Well, I want to fact check this. We gotta fact check this. This one's.
Well,
this
you
one-
can. I mean, you can.
That's
I'm sure there's links.
Snopes.
But I mean, it was worked.
Eater robot.
DARPA and Boston Dynamics, both. It's something they were part of. Plus,
It's on
this
Wikipedia.
other Cyclone craziness.
Cyclone. Yeah. It's on Wikipedia. Autonomous tactical robot was project of Eater, Cyclone Power Technologies Inc. Yeah, it's for plant biomass to fuel itself. So they're talking about plant biomass. That's a little different than flesh. Although you do need a
Organic.
yeah, you do need like
A
biological
protein. Yeah,
well,
like
there's tons of
something
protein. Well, there's tons of proteins
Yeah.
in veggies.
It's like a worm-eating robot that lives off of worms.
Okay,
bugs.
although the project overview RTI listed other sources, including chicken fat. So, I mean, its primary function was actually for biomass, which is completely different than eating people.
Yeah, isn't it amazing how
How it gets twisted?
Hey, I'm up for I'm up for figuring
Yeah.
all this out. When I hear something about a robot that's designed by DARPA that eats people, I'm like, what? And that's why I brought Alex Jones. It's perfect. There you go. Delve more into it and figure it out. There you go. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
the
the system was
lasting
quoted
cost-
as delivering an expected 100 miles of driving of 150 pounds of vegetation. Vegetation, keyword. So.
Huh.
Yeah, so not
Huh.
eating people. So good. It's good to look things up, and I would even go for like a third or fourth. Yeah, here's another one. Flesh-eating robot is actually a vegetarian, say inventors.
There you go.
Yeah, that makes
That's
more
awesome.
sense. It makes more sense.
Well, but I mean, you could make it eat people. You know.
Of course you could, but why would you do that? That's like, what's the purpose of
it's
doing
just
something?
one step away from eating
Yeah,
grass. I mean,
Yeah.
good lord. No, I'm just playing devil's advocate. But
Yeah.
the other one, the reason why I'm talking about it is because there's a video, the recent Boston Dynamic video, is all these little teeny antelope-looking robots with these
Oh, yeah.
creepy gates pulling a truck. I was like, goodness gracious. You know, like, what are we? I mean, eventually they'll be out there working in the yard. You know, I have this little weird yellow robot that's picking weeds.
My question is, How are we
That's
gonna?
a great idea.
How are we gonna? Well, they have a lawnmower bots and stuff, but
No, I'm talking using the flesh-eating robot to clean up the yard. I mean,
it's
if it
not
runs
flesh
on
eating. No, it's
vegetation,
vegetation.
I'm gonna call it forever for yeah.
Just for
well,
fun. Just for funsies.
Yeah. Well, just because that's what I'll always remember. The flesh-eating robot that was actually a vegetarian.
Terrible.
So.
It's a good news headline, though.
Good news headline. We gotta have something good to happen.
Let's let's see latest trending science news. Although it's been kind of boring lately.
I gotta take a pee break. I'll be back.
All right.
Find us something good.
Auroral speed bumps. Auroral speed bumps are more complicated. Scientists find auroral speed bumps. That's interesting. So researchers at the University of New Hampshire Space Science Center find that speed bumps in space, which can flow down satellite orbiting closer to Earth, are more complex than originally thought. Speed bumps. What kind of speed bumps? Magnetic? Let's read more. We knew these satellites were hitting speed bumps, or upswellings, which cause them to slow down and drop in altitude, said Mark Lassard, a physicist at UNH. But on this mission, we were able to unlock some of the mystery around why this happens by discovering that the bumps are much more complicated and structured. In a study published in AGU's journal Geophysical Research Letters, scientists outlined their observations during the rocket experiment for Neutral Upwelling 2, or RENU 2. Mission finding that a type of high-altitude auroras, or northern lights, are responsible, at least in part, for moving pockets of air high into the atmosphere where they can cause drag on passing satellites, similar to driving a car into a strong headwind. These auroras viewed from the Kjell-Henriksen Observatory in, Kjell. I don't know how you'd say that in Norwegian, but not the typical bright ribbons of light seen in the night skies in Earth's high latitudes, known as poleward moving auroral forms, or PMAF. These auroras were less energetic, dim, and distant. So scientists had long suspected that the aurora may be instigating an upwelling events affecting the lower altitude satellites, because when they were flying through the aurora, they would encounter space speed bumps caused by the heating up of the very high altitude atmosphere. I won't read on too much further, but the gist of it is the electromagnetic fields around the Earth seem to be slowing down rockets and satellites. Interesting. They say it's shifting in air masses, so if it's a plasma, it's heating up the air.
A polar shift? Is that what's happening?
No. God, stop it with this extremism.
What?
Enough with the extremism.
The polar shift? No, come on, man. That's what's happening. There's a polar shift.
No, there's slowing due to some type of, they're saying that it's heat up of the atmosphere that's creating high and low pressures. It's basically like it acts like a speed bump. High and low pressures. If you have a high pressure of air and you go between the surface of the high pressure and low pressure, aerodynamically speaking, you'll slow down, right? That's what they're saying. Although it could also be like a lens effect too. It's a possibility, like magnetic. What do you call it? Just the magnetic lens effect.
Yeah,
Maybe another possibility. I don't know, but interesting.
Well, yeah, the material reacting.
Yeah, the metal conductive material being undergo magnetic fields and being induced.
Down, like
eddy currents.
Magnet.
Eddy currents.
Right.
I don't know. Just another idea.
Well, no, hey, it would slow things down. Take a sheet of copper and put a magnet on it. Slowly go down it. It's pretty weird.
Pretty interesting. But that could potentially be another reason behind that, I would say. Who knows? See,
I don't know. Something blew up too, right? Elon's thing blew up.
his thing or his company's thing?
Nah, one of his capsules for people.
With people in it? No people in it, right?
No, nobody was in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've seen that going around lately. Something blew up. I think today he
Scientists propose a new
commented on-
theory on Alzheimer's.
and he wanted
Amyloid
to put
connection.
dragon wings on it for some reason.
Because it would be sweet. Come on, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Dragon wings?
Dragon wings.
I mean,
Some
Game of
guy-
Thrones is huge right now, too. So, I mean, it's
Yeah.
advertising. It's freaking
Oh,
genius.
everybody's just No, it's
No, get rid of that.
Yeah.
We do need it.
Anyways, that's really interesting. Auroral speed bumps.
Click on it.
Something you
No.
consider.
Click on it.
What's another...
That one.
let's look
Well,
in
that's
latest tech
Don't go
news.
to pay now until I say
it's
it.
electricity, right?
Yeah. That whole giant electricity thing that surrounds the Earth.
No, wait.
Google News. Maybe Google will give me some props. Apple claims it isn't scanning customers' faces after teen sues for $1 billion.
I thought it was done.
1 billion, which is 1 million million.
You're gonna charge my card $1 million.
Bioware delays Anthem's big Catalyst event. Let's see, there's a lot of gaming stuff. Apple will offer next day repairs. Razer launches new. Let's see, Razer launches new Blade Pro. Mortal Kombat. There's a lot of gaming stuff.
How about we shift this? You asked me last time how you got to start doing this stuff. How did you start doing it? This stuff.
How did I start doing what
And
stuff?
working
What
with
part?
Circuits. No,
Oh, the
circuits and
electrical
building
engineering stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you asked me last time, and it's funny because you're asking me something you know, but it's for other people. But I think your story is interesting too. How
So
you
there's
started doing
this game that a lot of people play. It's called Minecraft, right?
Nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah.
And there was this mod. It was called what was it called? Not Industrial Craft was part of it, but it was like this. It was called Tekkit, right? And
Yep.
and basically you could just build all kinds of crazy stuff. You know, all the way up into space, yada yada yada. I don't know. This is like literally like a year and a half, maybe 2 years after this game came out. So I think this game came out in like 2000. Oh man, when did this game? 2000.
It was a long time ago.
6? It was a while ago. But anyways, and in this game, in this Tekkit version, you could actually build circuits. And at that time, I didn't know that that was actually like NOR gates and XOR gates and logic, just different logic circuits and stuff like that. I didn't know at the time that those actually existed in real life.
That it was based on actual circuit
Right.
diagrams.
Right.
So, yeah, it was like.
And-
yeah.
So I was playing it one night with my buddy, and what I always made is I automate systems. I really like automation and making things easier for my life, you know, and especially when in regards to software and yada yada. But I also like creating stuff, and what I created were like clean energy systems on the server I had with a buddy, and like automatic miners that would operate off solar panels and yada, you know, just crazy stuff
Yeah.
like that. And it was a lot of fun. And one day my friend was like, hey, you know that you could do all this in real life? And like as soon as he said that, it's just like it literally ruined video games for me because
Yeah.
because like not only did it hit me with like, and of course he still plays video games, it didn't affect him, but it's just one of those epiphany moments, like I'm wasting my time building stuff in a video game when I could be building stuff in real life. That was the first part of it. And then the second part of it was like, oh, you know, well maybe I could build, you know, an automated clean energy thing in real life, you know? So that's kind of been my goal ever since, is to create like an automated clean energy
it's a
device
beau-
type of thing.
It's a beautiful, random, strange way to, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of us that do this always have the same kind of story. You know,
Right.
you just grew up taking things apart and kind of understood. I understood circuits when I was being like a man. I don't know.
The
10.
gist of it, right? The general idea of it.
I would go to 4A. I went to 4A science camps and stuff. You know, when I was young.
Yeah.
9, 10, 11, and it was the first time I ever saw a real laser. It was before you had laser pointers.
Yeah.
I'm almost 43 years old, just to give context to this. So that's like 30 years ago. So I played with liquid nitrogen, magnets, superconductors, and stuff. Just really cool stuff that seems to just have been stagnant for the last 30 years. I'm sure there's camps for kids. It's the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
And some
They still have
3D
them. Yeah.
printing. Well, coding is still the same. I mean, binary coding and 30 years ago, it's all the same. But yeah, that's like I said, your story to getting into this world is the most interesting one out of everyone I've heard.
Well, and then like
Last,
I started investigating, right? And so like the first things I found were of course these fake free energy ones, and like I pretty much blew through those pretty quick.
We all did. YouTube is either you get locked into a weird kind of idea or you learn from it.
Conspiracy, or you learn from it. And then I think the first energy device thing I did was the Bedini, right? The Bedini motor.
Yeah.
And
which has some conspiracy around it.
It does, but after doing, it's cool. It taught me a lot, but after doing a lot of research and actually doing the experiments, you realize like, no, this is not. There's no. I wouldn't call it free energy, but there's no.
It's a very good device for what is it when you want to break down the
reconditioning a battery. Yeah. But you could do that with just a pulse charger too. Like you could just do that with
a Solaire exciter if you wanted to. But pulse width modulated, high frequency, something just to rattle off the plates. But well, anybody with meters can kind of figure that out. It's some of this stuff. There's a point to where you get where it's you just you hit a wall.
Well, so
it's called physics.
Yeah, nature. It's really nature. Nature has the ultimate say. So I mean, and then it led me to I've found Russ, right, and
Russ. Yeah,
that was an awesome experience, because even despite the fact that there's so much, the cool thing about not being in like the mainstream of education, like science or whatever, kind of being on the outskirts, is that you can be on the outside looking in, and you won't get you'll get criticized, but you won't get heavily criticized by your constituents. So because of that reason, like it was good to not be in the actual
academia. Whatever. The thing about that part of it is it's like a club. It was almost as if it's like I was talking when we first started speaking tonight. I brought up the fact that archaeologists found some stuff, and it blows all this other archaeologist stuff out of the water. Doesn't make any sense anymore. That's the way it's always going to be with science and technology. The things that people think are like, oh, this is the way this is now. It's like, no, just wait. We'll just slowly discover it. You're not going to, fall into the pool and figure everything out all at once. It doesn't happen that way.
And I have like some really important questions that I would like to have answered, as far as physics goes. So that's kind of like where it's led me, like now I have these really important questions I would like answered, and I would love to get outside funding, but I'm not widely accepted in a lot, because I don't know. I'm sure I can find somebody who will, would like to. Honestly, I just want to be proved wrong. Like, I'm not trying to be right. I'm trying to be proved wrong. I want nature to tell me, through experimentation, like, oh, this is not correct, type of thing, and then I'd be satisfied. Or if it is correct, then it's just as exciting, and then you keep asking more questions, or you keep developing new things, new technologies. So. It's pretty cool.
Well,
we certainly don't have everything figured out, though. That's
No, we obviously don't because
Yeah.
people still don't have electricity.
Yeah, or water, clean water.
Yeah, clean water or electricity, and we've been able to do reverse osmosis for I don't know how long. So,
Yeah.
and all we need is electricity to.
Well, it's crazy too on Instagram. Some of the comments you see too is like people are just don't even realize sometimes. Like that's why I love using it, and I'm gonna start doing it on this YouTube channel too. Is start making more videos. It just takes a lot of time and effort, but make videos that kind of
Yeah.
help educate people more on sciences and some of the things that we can do with science that just
Well, like
aren't.
nuclear reactors, like salt reactors, like the way we should have done all these reactors. You know,
Yeah,
people
but-
hear nuclear and they freak out, and it's like, man, some of the ways of doing it, they're they're safer than a solar panel. Solar panel production creates a lot of very bad waste. So, you know, that gets put somewhere, right? I mean,
Yeah, it's
yeah, it gets to the point, you know, like,
it gets
it
buried
all-
underground.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, you know, you can play it both ways and come to a decision. But a lot of people just need to think outside their social media, their entertainment.
The echo chamber, as it's called.
Yeah, man.
I think
The
it's.
box,
I don't think it's just that. It's just. It's healthy to question things, but like, not just with your words. Like you wanna put actions into place.
Well,
you know,
be
like
active. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like
execute. Like do something.
question stuff. Well, that's like, you know, last week before we did the podcast, I went to protest an asphalt plant that was being put in near my children's school. And, you know, yeah, that's kind of insignificant when it comes to the whole world, but that's where it starts. Like, if you want to really, like, change what is going on the planet, well, you got to start, like, literally in your backyard. And then in
participate.
your town. Yeah, and make and you know, civil discourse. I mean, let your voice be heard, and not just, you know, that's the thing. If you want to complain about how everything is and blah 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 and this and we're dealing with this and that, it's like, well, then do something. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, that's my advice for everyone is just even the smallest thing. You know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give out any advice because I'm by no means like perfect or
Oh
whatever.
no, I'm
but
not perfect either. But that's
good to-
if that's not a, I mean,
think-
you know,
I think it's like there's a saying like opinions are pretty cheap. You know, everyone has them. Everyone gives them out.
They're
Yeah.
a dime a dozen.
Yeah,
That's an
it's just like-
opinion.
And it's just like
Just don't
excuses.
focus on
Opinions
the
are like
small-
excuses.
Don't focus on the small petty things unless you want to do something about it. And if you focus on the big giant things, then do something about it.
Yeah.
You know, I just listen to people complain about politics and this and that and everything else, and it's like, well, make
I
your
still
voice
like
heard.
the $5 coffee thing. I've been using that a lot. It's Gary Vaynerchuk, like said, if you're complaining about something and you know you think you have it bad or whatever, just think, have you ever had a $5 coffee from Dutch
it's a
Bros or
it's a
Starbucks?
first world problem.
Yeah, exactly.
First world problem.
First world problem.
I ordered honey mustard and they gave me ranch. Oh my god. I mean, you know what I'm saying? First world. That's so. People
It's
gotta
vain.
get their heads out of their ass.
Yeah.
That's my advice. You can quote me on that one. Get your heads out of your asses, guys. Wake up.
Yeah.
Girls, don't be offended by gender. You know.
Well, there's
Anyway.
there's reasons to take offense and bring out your warrior every now and again, but
Yeah, you're gonna
This
be
is-
offended by gender? No,
that's
I mean,
the
just
science of
people.
a social science. I think that
Yeah.
that's where it always
don't
comes
teach it in
down to,
school.
man. Well, yeah, you're supposed to learn it from your peers, right?
They
social
don't teach
science.
political science. They don't teach how the structure of government or anything in school.
They don't
It's
teach
kinda
they don't teach
funny.
too much about money. That's for sure. They really don't go
Oh,
too deep
no.
into that. Yeah,
Worker bees.
yeah,
That's what
trying to
they
make
want.
manufacturers.
Well, they consider us. Well, you know, we're almost considered like barrels of a certain worth.
Commodity.
You know what I'm saying? And then,
Yeah.
and then they add us.
That's what
up, and then
GDP is basically a representative
Yeah.
of. Man.
So that's that fake $1 trillion thing.
Dude, that's conspiracy theory nonsense.
It sounds right.
Sounds
All
right,
right.
and it feels right.
It's been an hour.
Yeah.
Are we done?
Yeah, I think you should call it
Nuclear
good.
fusion. I
Yeah.
think we'll go down a crazy road.
That would be a whole other discussion about hydrogen operation of the sun and yada yada yada. My
Anybody
hypothesis.
Yeah, anybody out there that watches this and can get a hold of me on Instagram if you want some super hot pepper seeds, some scorpions or something, give me a call. I have thousands, and I'm not trying to sell them. I'll just give them away.
Free pepper
send me
seeds.
Send me an address. You can grow the hottest peppers you've ever had, and be very careful. So it's almost
Free
like
pepper
selling
seeds.
Tesla coils. No, it is. I'm keeping to my whole. I'm selling something that is somewhat dangerous. So, but I'm not selling it. I'm giving that away, the seeds.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's very kind.
No, I got to do something with them.
Just pay for shipping and handling, right?
No, just send me an
I'm teasing.
address.
I'm
I'll
kidding.
snail mail it, man.
Yeah.
I'll put it in an envelope and I'll pay for it. It's all good. It's just spreading the heat. You know?
Spreading the heat across the nation.
Yeah. Hey, coming from North Carolina. Yeah. I
Well,
like
cool,
that
guys.
little. I know. I like that one. Go back and
Huh? What?
the little stand. I've been checking that out.
The hexa helping hands.
Yeah, I think
got-
that's a handy little thing.
Yeah, I got one
ordered
coming. I'm
one
gonna
yet.
try to market. I'll make another video. I'll make a video of it, a better video, and market that bad boy because I think it's cool
Well,
too if it
and
holds
people-
out. We'll
people
see.
need
I
to
gotta
check
test
out
it first.
The pyramid or the pyramid Earth theory, man. That shirt is. That shirt. I may order that one tomorrow. We kind of came up with that, but it's awesome. You want to rile some people up. There you go.
I think it just makes you think. I like the fact that it just makes you think.
Hey, it could be. You never
It's
know.
a conspiracy. Is it a conspiracy theory shirt? Is it a flat Earth
the
shirt?
only thing Earth people have is like, well, you don't know. Have you ever been in outer space? And
No.
it's like, I just wish I had an astronaut all the time with me. You know
Well,
what I mean?
but they could be lying, dude. Like all of
totally.
NASA is lying. You know that, right? An organization of
Lord.
thousands of people. They're lying, dude. I'm telling you straight up.
To make really cool doors on
What is the-
Apollo capsules.
What is it? It's not Occam's razor. What's the? There's a certain logical parameter, like where if something is, if the easiest path, the path of least resistance, or the most explainable thing is there, then that's usually the likely answer,
Yeah.
right? Would that be that all of NASA is lying, or would that be
No,
that, right?
that's
Probably
totally
not.
crazy.
Yeah,
No.
probably not.
It's like
I don't know.
yesterday was Easter, right? And I'm not offending anybody, but I watched Zeitgeist just for the hell of it. So, you know, next Easter, if you guys want to watch something to mess with your family, put Zeitgeist on. It's on Netflix.
What's
But,
that one about?
Oh, it just talks about why Easter exists. And
Oh, okay.
how- yeah. it gets
Religious
into-
dogmas and
Oh,
how it was
yeah.
like
Oh,
Ishtar,
how it's-
Ishtar first. and-
It's how it's just been plagiarized for
Yeah.
thousands of years, and
Yeah.
it's just the same story over and over and
Well, it's
over.
because it's like natural patterns, and it's natural patterns
Oh,
of
yeah.
cycles of the seasons, and just like the sun and the moon, and having a male and female, and all those energies, man. We can start getting into some metaphysics.
Well, no, the sun actually in the solstice, it like sits for a few days, and then it goes back up. There's just this whole Easter thing with the solstice.
Rising again and all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's all kinds
there's
of
a lot of metaphors
Yeah.
going into this that have to do with what our ancestors used to sit around. They didn't have iPhones and iPods and all this stuff. They sat around a fire and stared at the sky if they couldn't sleep at night.
Yeah.
And some of those cats used to sleep all day and be up all night. So that's where we are as a whatever we are.
yeah, as a human creature.
Human. That's just a title.
We have to give ourselves something. Your name's
I-
Ryan. My name's Dyden.
Yeah, it is.
That's just the way it is, man.
And I have a
Embrace it.
designated location. It is called North Carolina for some reason.
And if you want some Carolina Reaper seeds,
Yeah, or
Easy,
some
man.
scorpions. Yeah.
Some scorpions.
All right, man. Let's get
well, cool.
off here.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Do another one next week, same time, same place. Yeah, and if you want to get on the show or you have any topics you want to discuss, leave them in the comments below. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, notification bell if you'd like to see this again. And much love to you all. Until next time, peace.
Thank you, guys.
This is a box to the right.
Charlotte, Ryan, are you getting hungry now?
A little bit.
Now I have to end it.
Do you want me to make the enchiladas or what?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Just staring at a screen, trying to figure it out. To those who are still watching, I'm impressed by your patience. I'm very impressed right now by your patience. For some reason, I'm having some technical difficulties.
I can't shut it down.
I can't shut it down.
Maybe I'll try. I'll shut it down.
There it is. I found it. Later, everyone.